Thank you so much for joining me yet again. Today's practice is themed Happy Hips. So, as some of you may know, the hips are kind of like the junk drawer of our bodies. And so they hold a lot of old energy that may or may not serve us any longer. And so today's practice is really about just getting in there and loosening up, freeing up some of those energy channels and letting things move through us. The only props that you may need today, if you have one, are a yoga block or a couch pillow. I use that one all the time, or a book or something just to lift you up a little bit from the floor. And that'll just help get into those hip flexors and the outsides of the hips a little bit. So go ahead and gather any props that you need, find your space, and then we'll start as we always do by dropping in, coming into the present moment and just really aligning with our breath, connecting inward. Once you've found a comfortable and supported seat, go ahead and close your eyes. Take 5 nice breaths. And as you breathe, feel free to invite in an Ujjayi breath. If you're familiar with it, it's a gentle, audible breath that really only you can hear. It somewhat resembles the waves crashing onto and off of a shore and is oftentimes referred to as the oceanic breath. We create this sound by gently closing off the back of the throat. Go ahead, as you're ready, bow your chin toward your chest and gather in a big, deep breath in. Pause at the top, and as you let it out, perhaps sigh it through your mouth. One more, just in the same way. When you're ready, open your eyes. And we'll start today's practice in all fours position, tabletop form. Set any props off to the side and find a nice, even, steady place for the hands so that they support the shoulders. Spread the palms, stack the knees underneath the hips. Place a gentle bend in the elbows, and then melt the heart softly toward the floor. Lift your right foot up off the floor and flex it, lifting that right knee, and then slowly circle the right knee out. So big, nice, even, steady circles here. And then changing direction, foot forward between the hands. And from here, connect into your midline, charge up those leg muscles. Pull the belly in toward the spine and stretch those arms up overhead for a nice low lunge. And as you exhale, melt the shoulders down onto the back plane of the body. Good. From here, hinge forward, reach the arms toward the front of your space. I invite you all to take your right hip back. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, shift your hands in front of your shoulders just a little, and then take them nice and wide and bend the elbows out to the sides as you soften the chest forward and down toward the floor. So notice the upper back's not rounding, right? So we're bending the elbows and creating spaciousness behind the heart here. Good. Take one more breath. Slide the hand a few breaths. Notice from right hip to left hip. Stay grounded in the hands, and we'll soften through those elbows once again. Good. Slowly take your gaze in front of your fingers and slide the body forward for plank pose. Pause and plank for 3 breaths, lifting those hips up to the height of the shoulders, but soft elbows and melting the heart one more time. Big breath in, extend from the heels through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, we'll glide the body down toward the floor. If it's easier to go through the knees, please release those knees first. Click all shoulders down and back. Exhale, release to the floor, tuck the toes and press to all fours position. Shift your hands back to align under the shoulders if need be. And then we'll take that left knee up and off the floor and take 3 circles in each direction. Come back to your nice steady flow of breath and just reconnect, realign there. Good. Change directions when you're ready, keeping that left foot nice and flexed. And then we'll slowly step it forward. Yet again, charge up those leg muscles. And as you inhale, use the core strength to bring the arms overhead. Exhale, soften the shoulders down and back. Good. Draw the belly button in toward the spine. And then exhale, hinge out of that left hip. Pause for 2 breaths as the arms and the chest come somewhat parallel to the floor, and root that left hip back. 1 more breath. Soft, long neck here. Good. Release those hands inside of the front foot on your exhale, forward and wide, or you're propping yourself up on a block or a pillow. Notice what that left hip means for your body in this practice right here. 2 more breaths. Come back to your rhythm, whether you're using that Ujjayi breath or not. Just find that gentle support of the breath. Good. From here, we'll walk those hands to either side of the foot. Center and square off the torso. Lift the back knee and step forward, coming to a forward fold. So from your forward fold, we're actually going to take it wide. Step those feet out to about mat distance or even a little beyond. Notice what's right and comfortable for you. And then place a nice bend right here in the knees so that the hips sink down just a little bit. We're going to keep our hands on the floor and we'll play with lifting the chest up. From here, as you exhale, glide those hips down. So maybe the hips come parallel to the floor, if that works for you. Maybe they come even a little bit lower and you're in this full frog pose. See what's working here on those hips, and wherever you're at, the heart is going to continue to lift. And from here, we're going to start to flow with breath. So as we exhale, we're going to fold forward, reach those sitting bones high and come to a nice forward fold. And then as we inhale, we'll lift the heart forward and up, drop and sink the hips and come to this frog pose. So we exhale, bow and bend, straightening out the legs a little, and then inhale, lift the heart, sink the hips. We'll do 2 more. Find this nice breath. I really like to exhale through my mouth. That releases a lot of energy and just clears out some stagnancy. Good. Last one. You got it. Stay in your forward fold and then take ragdoll arms, opposite hand, opposite elbow. Release the head, let the crown drape toward the floor, and maybe find stillness or feel free to sway side to side really gently here. And take 2 more breaths in your wide leg, tops of the thighs, and then just extend that heart parallel to the floor. Pause, root down and rise fully to stand, reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands through heart. 1 more time. Reach and stretch. Maybe the gaze goes up. And as you exhale, the hands together, we'll hinge from those hips and bow again. Inhale, find a halfway lift, whether fingers are on the floor, a block or a support, or the shins. And as you exhale, step it back to plank pose. Good. 2 breaths here in plank. Steady hands, soft elbows. Inhale. Exhale on your rhythm. Inhale. And on your next exhale, slowly draw it down to the floor. Perhaps pausing an inch away from the floor. Hovering for a moment, really charging up those core muscles, and then releasing the pelvis, the thighs, and the tops of the feet, curling the heart forward and open, coming back to cobra pose. Good. Exhale, release, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Stretch those hips high and back. 3 breaths, come back to your natural rhythm. Feel free to close the eyes or even exhale, sigh your breath out through your mouth. Good. Inhale the right heel up toward the ceiling. And as you bend the knee and open the hips to the right, circle that right knee out here. 3 circles in each direction. Right foot stays flexing. Hands stay anchored and spread. And then we'll come back to stillness and float that right foot through again. For this time, a high lunge. Same thing, charge up those leg muscles, hug to midline. And as you inhale, use your core strength to float those arms overhead. Soft shoulders, exhale, good. Inhale, root the back heel down. Exhale, hinge out of the front hip, bow halfway. Pause for 2 breaths. Gaze straight down at those toes right in front of you and root down through the back heel. Keep the side body long and then release on your exhale, hands inside the front foot once again. Good, bend deep into that front knee and open and extend the heart forward. Awesome, this could be plenty of work. If you want to go a little bit deeper, widen those hands, bend the elbows and sink the heart. If you'd like to go further yet, extend the hands forward and toward the left corner of your mat and then root those hips back. So stretching fingers and hips away from each other. Watch that right knee wherever you're working. Make sure it's not folding in or out too much. Good. 1 more breath. Find even more extension and more compression into this right hip. Move the hands back under the chest, but we'll leave the left one way off to the left, and we'll turn open to the right, twisting toward that inner thigh and reaching the right arms up overhead. Good. Root into the back heel, stretch through the crown of the head, and gather the shoulders more and more onto the back. 1 more breath here. Awesome. Exhale and release. Frame the front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Nice. The left heel raises on an in-breath. We stack the hips and bend that knee. Circles with that left knee. Keep your right heel hugging in toward midline. Often it wants to lean out to the right with this opening. Yeah, switch directions on those circles if you haven't. And then step through with the left foot. Plug into the back leg. Drop deep into that front thigh. And then root to rise. Inhale, arms up overhead. Good. Exhale, soft shoulders. Curl the belly in. Hinge out of the left hip. And just pause here. 2 breaths. Arms and heart somewhat parallel to the floor. Back leg really charged. Breathing in. Breathing out. Release hands down to the mat. Coming inside of your front foot. Deepen your knee bend in your left leg. Reroot through the back leg. And open up through the heart. We've got 5 more breaths here. Find the arm variation that really serves and works for you. And then drop back into the support of the breath. Hands back under the chest, leaving that right one off to the right. Turn open. 3 breaths here. Big, full extension. Take your left hip back any amount. And release and lower left hand beside the foot. Bend the back knee slightly and step forward again. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Take 3 breaths, releasing that. Place a little bend, a little softness. Inhale, we'll connect to that halfway lift form. And we'll step those feet wide once again. Same as we did before. The feet can be parallel or angled out. Notice what works for you. And then as you inhale, lift and extend the heart forward. As you exhale, sink the hips down. Good. Pause for a moment, hands grounded on the floor, and then shrug as best you can those shoulders onto the back body. We'll flow with breath once again. So as you exhale, lift those hips, bow the chest and the head down. And as you inhale, extend and open the heart, sink the hips. We've got 4 more of these. Just flow. Find your breath here. Create some heat, create some energy, and really surrender on those exhales. Make them powerful. 3 more. Just go as low as it feels right for you. Last one. Stay in this forward fold. Take that ragdoll pose again. Find stillness or movement as it serves you. Deep rhythmic breathing, slowing down the heart. Release your hands and step the feet back underneath the hips. Root down and inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands together. Either hands through heart or that swan dive form. Lengthen the heart forward, in breath. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale and plank. And then as you exhale, lower down toward the floor. Good. Inhale, curl that heart open, shine it bright. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right heel lifts up toward the ceiling. And exhale, step it forward once again, high lunge. Good, root down, inhale, rise those arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands together at heart and just pause and check in with that front knee. So we want it to really track over that front ankle and not wobble inside or outside of that. Sink deep into it and then really root into the back thigh and leg. Good. Reach those arms up on an inhale. And on your exhale, we'll slowly take it forward once again, pausing at that halfway point. And then we're going to extend those arms behind us for an airplane version. Shrug the shoulders back and up, and then bow the heart inside that front leg. So we're more in a humble warrior pose. Charge up your back left leg, and as you inhale, rise up, staying strong in the legs to warrior one. 3 more. Exhale, hinge in front of that right leg. Arms and pinkies lift up toward the ceiling. Inhale, nothing changes in the legs. We just rise the heart up and open. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Stay in that exhale. Finish it all the way out. And then just slowly release those hands beside the front foot. Good. Stretch back to 3-legged dog. Bend that right knee. Stack and open to the right. Keep the left leg hugging in toward your midline. Relax the head and the neck. 1 more breath in. Good. Breathe it out. Square the hips off, return to down dog, pause, feel from side to side. Lift the left leg high on an in-breath, and on the exhale, step it through and forward. Plug into that back leg. Use your core strength. Inhale, rise up, arms reach overhead. Exhale, soften down into that front thigh. Good. Release the hands to the heart and just pause and check in with that knee. Yeah, we really want to find that nice, steady, solid foundation. Drop a little deeper into it. Curl the back heel down toward the floor and then pull the belly in just a little. Inhale, arms up. Good. 4 times through. Exhale, humble warrior with those pinkies lifting up as best they can toward the ceiling. Inhale. Strong, steady legs. Nothing changes in them. Exhale. 2 more. Find your own rhythm. Last one. Let it all out, all the air out of the lungs. And then release those hands, stretching it back to your 3-legged dog. Bend and open to the left. Good. Take another nice breath in here. And a nice breath out. Release to dog pose, left foot beside the right one. Bend both knees and glide the gaze forward. Ready, curl into that cobra pose. Soft shoulders, open heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Bend the knees, gaze forward, step or float through to Uttanasana, wide feet. Last round through, you know the drill now. Inhale, drop the hips, lift the heart. Exhale, lift the sit bones high. Good, 3 more. Really get that breath and that energy flowing. One more. Last one, you've got it. Finish out that exhale and just let that head hang nice and heavy. Walk the feet back underneath those hips. And then inhale, stretch the heart through and forward. Maybe the hands come to the shins. Exhale and bow it down. Good. 2 more. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Side body's long. Exhale, hinge and bow. Last one. From down dog, we'll lift the right foot off the floor. And we'll draw the foot forward, but we're going to place the shin down on the mat so that the knee is bent. I'm going to angle the camera so that you can see it a little bit better from your vantage point. Sorry about that. Okay, so the shin, so that right knee is forward. The shin is kind of aligning underneath the thigh. The right foot is a little to the inside of the left inner thigh. I have set down my back knee. Go ahead and find this position. If it's too much at all on your right hip or your right knee, take it into a normal pigeon or anything that really works better for you. Okay, this is just a modified pigeon pose. So our hands are going to just be rested either on a support in front of us or on the floor. And then what we're going to do is find your left foot, the one way back there, and then we're going to walk it all the way over to the right. You might see it in the camera moving over and off to even off of the side of my mat over to the right side. Good. And then just like we did earlier, we're going to lift and extend the heart open, but then we're going to gently bow the heart forward. And this might be plenty. You might need to stay upright as well, so really do what works for you. You might even come to the forearms or a blocker a bit easier, I find, on the knee because the angle is a little gentler, whereas the shin is closer to the leg, and regular pigeon, the shin and the thigh are quite a ways away from each other, and that kind of creates a little bend or torque in the knee. Feel free to find stillness or movement, and you really just want to have that torso sort of squared towards center. So your ribs are sort of parallel with the long edges of your mat. Good. Take another breath here. And then we'll place those hands down, and we'll gently lift up. Bring that left foot back in line with the left hip, and then we're just going to slowly lift up, coming off of that front foot. Onto the front foot, off of the shin, and lower the left back knee once again. We're going to keep the right foot centered, and then we'll just shift it over to the right behind that same arm. We're going to come right onto the pinky toe edge. So again, not a full pigeon pose, but just really activating through that front foot and coming karate chopping onto the outer edge, the pinky toe edge of it. Knee is really nice and wide, and even the back thigh can lift a little bit here. Settle in for 2 more breaths. Then we're going to glide it back to our down dog and just really feel the difference right and left. Feel free to pedal it out or find stillness. And then we'll step through with the left knee, lowering that shin to the floor. The back knee can lower for a moment until we get set up. And then I really just want you to center your torso initially. Yeah. When you're ready, lift that back knee up and walk the left foot through the heart energy and then lower down. If it works, you might stay upright, and that's awesome. Work with your body, work with your limits and where you're at today. Good. We're out to that connection with the breath. 2 more rounds. Good. Shift that right foot back in line with the hip. Prop the hand up, that knee to the left as much as the hip allows. Curl onto the outer pinky edge of that left foot and really connect to it. So really press into that front foot, particularly the big toe mound. 3 more breaths. Soften here and find that stillness. Feel this release of energy. Good. We'll plant the foot. And we'll just step back to down dog for 3 final breaths in this position. Come forward into a plank form and lower the knees down. Shift into a seated form. And I'm actually going to grab this couch pillow I keep next to me and prop myself up onto it so that I have a little lift in my hips. We're going to start here with an extended left leg, a bent right knee. And we're actually going to flex that right foot and take the right hand to the outside of it, lifting up through that right foot. So both of my feet are going to be nice and energized, nice and charged up. I want you to create a gas pedal foot with the right one and press into your hand. But I also want you to let the hand win and invite that knee back toward the space behind you or toward the side of the ribs. Good. Sit up nice and tall. Sometimes I use my left hand for a little bit more to draw that knee back. It's sort of a half happy baby version, but an upright one. Sit up tall and bend that knee back as much as that right hip allows. Keep flexing the feet into the hand or hands. 2 more breaths, nice open chest. Good. Soft. You can just cradle the ankle. That's a great place to start. But again, I'm going to invite you to activate both feet. And then you can draw the shin inward toward the chest a little bit. If you want to go a little deeper, you can take your left arm and wrap it around the foot. That's one position, leaving the right hand to the floor and sitting up tall. You can also take the right hand around the shin. Yeah. So wherever you're working, just a really active right foot and a nice tall lifted chest. 1 more breath here. Good. Slow release. Right foot comes to the inner left thigh and we'll sit up tall. As we exhale, we'll hinge from the left foot and gently bow forward. The gaze will be at that front shin. And the invitation is to plug into the sit bones so that the side bodies really find some more length here. Rest your hands beside your leg, to your shin, or even to the front foot. But again, we want to really try to not round the upper back and extend that right leg, switching it out. So the left knee will bend, the left hand to the outer foot. Flex and lift through the foot. So the foot and the calf muscle are basically parallel to the floor. And then you'll just start sitting down deeper and lifting up higher, taking that left knee beside your body any amount. Good. Feel free to take the right hand to the foot if that works for you. But the awareness is really in the sitting bones. Both are grounded evenly, and then in the nice open lifted heart. 2 more breaths here. Charged up feet, and just using that breath to soften that left knee any amount more behind you. Nowhere to go, just listening to the left hip. Good. Bring the hip, the shin in front of the torso as best you can. Either cradle it, take the foot to the inner right elbow, and or the left hand around the knee, or the left hand just to the floor. Really active left leg, and we're just sitting up nice and tall. Finding that breath flow. 2 more. Good. Release the left foot down slowly, bringing it to the inner thigh. Sit up tall and hinge forward. And even if you're just going halfway down, that's a great place to be. Lower the hands and draw the shoulders back. That's a great place to work. Wherever you are at, if you're going a little deeper, you really want to connected breathing together collectively. It may be the cross-legged form. It might be something different. Do what honors your body. When you're ready, reclose through those eyes. And as you exhale, weight down a little deeper through the hips. Find length through the sides of the neck. And just gently lay witness to your breath. Your heart and bow your chin to it. Bring the hands together in front of it. Rise up tall through the heart and the chest. Nice deep breath. My inner light bows to the inner light in you. Namaste. And as always, thank you from my heart to yours for joining and playing. So lovely to share this practice with you. Be well, and we'll see you again real soon.